You want to lift this up, and what is that? Now there's no traditional rev trigger, it's actually on the back, and this is a little bit weird. And I started smelling a burning smell almost immediately. I love Dark Zone, okay? I am one of their big supporters, but stuff like this needs to stop. Hello everyone, Freakosaurus227 here. Today I'm going to be doing a review on Dark Zone's Stryfe X killer. And it's very obvious that this is their answer to the Stryfe X. But does it live up to the hype? Is it any good? Well, on the surface it is, but once you take a look inside, that's where the real problems are. Let's get started with the review. Included is the blaster itself, 12-round magazine, or technically 15-round from what I heard, safety glasses, adjustable stock, and 12 amber half-length darts. We're actually going to keep just get them out of here. So to operate the blaster, you want to go to the battery door right here, take your Phillips screw. Once you get that off, you will see that there is a place to put 8 AA's. We have 6 up here, and then there's slots for 2 of them right in there. That it's like a double stack situation. Now, before I put the batteries in, I'm going to show you something pretty darn cool. So you notice right under here, there's a little screw. You want to take your screwdriver, and you just want to unscrew that. Once you get that screw undone, you want to lift this up. And what is that? As most people know, that's an XT30 connector, which means you could disconnect the battery tray and throw in a rechargeable LiPo battery. Now, the one that works best with this stock is the Dark Zone Venom Pro battery, which is right over there. It's also the same battery that's in the Omnia. You can buy them separately on the Dark Zone website. It works pretty well with that, but for the review, we're mainly just going to be sticking to the battery tray. But you want to install 8 AA batteries. Once your batteries are in there, hit the mag release. It's pretty easy to hit it with your middle finger. I'm not flipping you off, guys. But the mag release is mainly meant to be used like this with your other hand and not your finger. Load some darts into the mag. This mag is advertised to hold 12 rounds, but it can very comfortably hold 15. It's also made really well. Dark Zone's Talon style mags are made just really good. But put the mag into the blaster, very easy to put in, and it's very easy to take out. Very nice and smooth. Then you rev the blaster up. Now there's no traditional rev trigger, it's actually on the back, and this is a little bit weird. It takes getting used to. It's not the biggest problem, and it's a lot better than I thought it would be, but it's still not that good. I really just prefer a standard rev trigger. This is more of an experiment from Dark Zone, so, you know, if you don't like this, let Dark Zone know they're not going to do any more like it. This is just an experimental thing. But rev it up. Oh, hit safety, which the safety is on the bottom. And for a blaster running on AA's, that's a pretty quick rev up time. Fire. It has a very nice and very snappy trigger pull. The ergonomics of the blaster are pretty darn good. The main grip is really nice. It's one of Dark Zone's better grips for, you know, their flywheeler blasters. If it wasn't for the rev trigger, it would be almost perfect in my opinion. The stock is really good. This is probably one of my favorite parts about the whole blaster. It's really nice and comfortable, and it is a buffer tube stock, but it's also an in-strike stock. So if you want to put your Nerf stock on here, you totally can. There's a Picatinny style rail up at the top and 2 iron sights. The iron sights are fine, nothing wrong with them. Pretty basic, but fine. There's also another little tack rail right on here. You might be able to put a foregrip, but it's really tiny. I don't know why they didn't make it a little bit bigger. It's really weird. There's a sling mount up here and a sling mount on the stock point. So enough sling mounts to actually use. There's also kind of a sling mount right here. What sucks about the safety down here is that it takes a little bit longer to access than a standard safety that's like closer to your hand. So you're going to accidentally rev the blaster a lot, and you can't just easily have the safety on so you don't accidentally do it. So again, this is kind of a big issue, a big oversight. That's why this thing isn't used a lot. This style of backstrap revving, it doesn't really work. It worked on the Venom because the Venom didn't literally cover the whole grip. This is just really odd. The overall look of the blaster is pretty darn good. I really like the translucent orange. It looks really, like, way better in person than it does on camera. And I like the look of the stock. I like the feel of it. It's a nice, like, compact SMG style thing. This even almost works as a good foregrip. Yes, Faye, I'm calling it a foregrip and you won't stop me. But it works as a really nice foregrip. It's just really well made. Now, it can't take scar barrels, but in my testing, this thing is really darn accurate. Now, you may be asking, where's the jam door? Well, it's right up in there. Yes, this little hole here on the mag well is literally meant to be a jam door, and it kind of works well. Now, it's not as good as like a traditional jam door, but it's a cool little like experimental thing. Not a big deal. It doesn't ruin the blaster at all. Not even I wouldn't even consider it a con. It's just a different thing that they're trying out, and I respect it. And it also gets a pretty darn good FPS around the 140, 150 range, which is really good. So you may be wondering, why did I start the review off with a negative tone? Well, it's all Dart Zone's fault, because Dart Zone decided to give it basically the same micro switch that the MK3 had. And that's where the big problem is. They put a 10 milliamp switch in this, which is not anywhere close to enough to what you need to run a setup like this with this many batteries or even a LiPo. Now, the Li-ion battery in the Venom Pro is what I tested this mostly with, and it worked perfectly fine, nothing wrong. But when I started to test this with AA batteries, it got really bad. I started smelling a burning smell almost immediately. So I stopped doing it. Like, I stopped testing it. I couldn't even fully test it with the AA's because I wanted to get the burnout on camera. And also, I needed to film the range test before it burnt out. But here's the thing. I didn't get a lemon. I'm not the only one that's having this issue. A lot of other people are, and I mean a lot of people are. In fact, I've compiled evidence of it. Take a look at Phase 1 Foam stream with him testing this thing.
Okay, now it's actually burnt out. Hello?
That's a brand new out-of-the-box Maxim Pro. I'll link the stream in my description so you can go see it for yourself. But basically, it burned out in 20 minutes, like legitimately. At first it faltered and messed up for a second, then it came back. I think that was because there's a thermistor in there that overheats really easily, but then the micro switch burned out. This is unacceptable. But no, this is not just an isolated incident that me and Phase 1 Foam happened to have. Tessera's Nerf room, or my good friend Tess, he had his burnout on camera in a game, in a Nerf game. I'll link the video below, but here's a little clip of him explaining what happened.
During one of the rounds at the game, the blaster just stopped working. I was revving it, and I was just shooting off darts, and then suddenly it just stopped revving, and it turns out it was the micro switch that killed itself, and it just happened while we were using it, like, randomly. So after the round, we went and we had brought a mini soldering iron thing. I used it. I quickly switched it out for a replacement one, and that got me through the rest of the game. And then after, when we got home, I put in a new micro switch. So that was kind of a mess.
And it gets even worse. I found a comment from wannabe Nerf operator who had a friend who had a Maxim Pro at his game, and that one burnt out mid-game. Heck, there was even reports of burnout on the very first sample attained by Xbox Games. They ended up getting one early, and that burnt out. And there are many, many more reports of burnout. There are so many, I can't even, there's just a bunch of reports of burnout, and it's ridiculous. Before I get into my final opinions and recommendations of this blaster, let's take it out to the range and see how long it will last before it burns out, because I'm smelling a burning smell when I fire this, so it's bound to happen soon. Let's head on to the range. I'm going to do a blaster dab, and you can't stop me. Alrighty, we have the Maxim Pro here, loaded up with 15 brand new Ember darts, and of course 8 fresh AA's. Very nice, very accurate shots. Let's go a little faster. Very nice, little to no bog down at all. All right, now we have it loaded up with fresh Worker Gen 3s. Alrighty, a little faster. Very nice, only a little stray shot there, but so far very accurate, especially without a scar barrel. So we have that one outlier dart that is the lowest, and that's at 45 feet. I think this was just some kind of fluke or something. We have another Worker Gen 3 and an Ember dart sitting at 67 feet. We have a few other Worker darts at 76 feet. We got a few more Ember darts, a few more Worker darts at around 81 feet. Okay, we're finally in the shade. We got the main grouping of Ember and Workers, just like the general main grouping, most of the darts, and that's at a comfortable 88 feet average. And generally the ranges are pretty consistent with most of the darts, the furthest one being at 89 feet, so that's actually pretty good. Alright guys, we got the Maxim here. Now what I'm going to be doing here is basically a burnout test. So earlier, like I said, I smelled a burning smell when I was testing it with AA batteries. Now I have fresh AA batteries in there, and during the range test, I actually didn't get any kind of burning smell, which I'm happy about, but that was just one range test firing, 24 darts. So we got to make 100% sure. So I have a whole bunch of Talon mags, or all my Talon style mags. I even have the crappy dart zone ones, the good dart zone ones. I actually don't have a single Talon mag, which sucks because I should get them. But I have fresh AA's in here. I only used them for the range test, and we're just going to see how long this blaster lasts. Alright, so I fired all the mags so far. No burnouts, but I definitely smell something. The burning smell is back, unfortunately. I'll get into more of that in the final opinion. Let's reload these mags. Alright, I emptied the dart bucket, and coincidentally I was able to fill up all my mags, so we're going in for round 2. Yeah, that burning smell is back again, for sure. I accidentally revved it, hold on. Yeah, this is, like, so far it's holding up, which I'm happy about, but the big problem here is I don't know when this is going to break. It's going to break, though, I can tell, okay? If you smell a burning smell from a flywheeler, that probably means it's about gone. You're not too far away. Now, these are just a couple rounds of mags. I could try testing this for hours. I'm kind of just done with this blaster, to be honest. I will test it some more. I kind of don't want to break it completely because I want to try to still salvage what I can. Also, another one I noticed some people experience is apparently this thing has a thermistor and it overheats really easily. So if you overdo this thing, it will actually short out. It will, like, not short out, but overheat, and the blaster will operate for like a minute or so, and they'll get back in the game. There's that, and then there's also the straight up burnout where it stops working completely. These are two big issues, and it's not good. I could keep going on a big rant, but I think Phase 1 Foam said it best in his stream when he burnt this thing out, literally on camera. So I'm gonna play that.
Someone clip this and send this to Dart Zone. You have sat there and created a problem. You tried to put a band-aid on a 50 caliber bullet wound. You should be ashamed of yourself, disappointed in yourself as a company, and ashamed of a product that you've put out when it doesn't function properly and can't handle me shooting it on AA alkalines when it's advertised to work with AA alkalines. You should be ashamed of yourself, and you should be apologizing publicly, because I'm sick and tired of your bull crap. It doesn't work out of the box. I've not done anything. I've not done LiPo. I've not done IMRs. I've been using AA alkaline batteries. You didn't learn from the Mark III. You didn't learn from the Omnia. And you apparently can't learn from your own blasters because you still make the same stupid mistakes. I am so disappointed in this product. It's not even funny.
So do I recommend the Maxim Pro? I want to. I really want to. Trust me, I do not hate Dart Zone. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong. I'm not a Dart Zone hater. I love Dart Zone. I think a lot of their products are great. I gushed over the Venom Pro. You saw me. Some people said I was too positive on that blaster. Some people said I was too positive on the Desperado. I was positive on the Outlaw, which is a very, a very controversial blaster. I love Dart Zone, okay? I am one of their big supporters. But stuff like this needs to stop. It needs to stop. This is ignoring this is going to make Dart Zone go down the exact same road that Hasbro went down. And we all know where that leads. It leads to Elite 2.0, Alpha Strike, and whatever the crap this is. My point I'm trying to make is, I don't know who I'm going to recommend this to. If you're wanting to get this and you can't get the Stryfe X, that means you're going to be lower on funds. I completely understand that. I don't even have a Stryfe X yet. And I was hoping this would do the job. But the problem is, I'm spending my hard-earned money on something that could very likely break. I'm gambling. So I can't recommend this to someone who's looking for a cheaper version of the Stryfe X, because this isn't a reliable version at all. And the crazy part is it can be fixed with $10 put into the blaster, a $10 markup, fix the issues, we'd be fine. If you want a pro flywheeler that's a good one and it's a budget one, get the Venom Pro. Just get the Venom Pro, please. Or get the new Omnia coming out. That's a little bit more on the expensive side, but get that. There's no one I can really recommend this to unless you just like the look and shape and feel of the blaster. Which, in that case, awesome. You can do some cool mods to it. It does have mod potential. There's a space for a worker full auto kit. It's almost perfect. It almost has everything you need, but they ruined it. They absolutely had to ruin it. I don't know who I could recommend this for, because unless you like the looks of it or the feel of it, don't get this. Just get a Stryfe X, dump your money on something else, mod something else. Like, if you're gonna get this, only get it if you're willing to mod it and fix it, because basically you're gambling. Or if you're just willing to gamble and you don't care. But as far as my rating, I'm gonna have to give it like a 5 out of 10. Mainly because it does have a lot to offer, and if you're willing to take the chance or willing to fix it, it can be good, but again, it's something you're going to have to do. I'm really hoping Dart Zone re-releases this and fixes it, but yeah, as of now, no, I want to be positive on this thing, but I can't. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. This genuinely stresses me out because I feel like Dart Zone is slowly, or like they've always had quality control issues, but they started to get better. But if these issues keep getting ignored, they're going to be basically the same as Hasbro, just their blasters shoot a bit harder. And I don't want that. I really don't. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.
My junk drawer, my junk drawer. So many things I don't know what they're for, but I won't let it go. No, I will add more useless little things to my junk drawer.